BYREDO has a new palette out and it's $115, so as usual it's a pretty penny, and you can, as usual, rely on me whether to tell you whether or not it's worth your money. Why? Well, because I have done this professionally for over 1/4 of a century. That's right, I have worked in fashion and beauty in the journalistic realm for a very, very long time. And that's what made me start Not Fit for Print Beauty right here on YouTube. So you have a sort of digital beauty magazine to go through every day or so here on YouTube. All right, so we're going to talk about it. Like I said, it's $115. Let me see if I can get the fingerprints off of it after I claim to be a professional. This is the BYREDO Vesuvio eyeshadow palette. Again, $115. This is the, let's just first of all look, I mean, you're paying for the packaging, okay? And yes, we are going to swatch it in the warm California sunshine, so don't worry. But let's just talk about this here. This is interesting because what they're doing is the kind of, this is Mount Vesuvius as an abstract idea on the cover, and it is gorgeous. As usual, we're going to look at some other BYREDO palettes through the seasons. You know, they always, and I've reviewed them all, they always have quite lovely cover art. I mean, really, that's what it is, and packaging. And, you know, it's kind of nice because, you know, when you take your Pat McGrath palettes, they're kind of hard to travel with. It always feels like they're going to get ruined even though they're hard. You know, the motherships. This one, it feels a little more secure, or is it in my head? The BYREDOs feel a little bit more secure. The inside is still really soft though and kind of creamy. I wouldn't really want to drop it, so maybe I wouldn't travel with it, but somehow feels like you can. I don't know. At any rate, the whole idea of this is this. So this is an abstract, and we're talking about, it's called Vesuvio, but it's about Mount Vesuvius. And inside the color story, the idea of the color story is that it relates to 18th century Neapolitan paintings of the volcano Vesuvius and all the colors that are in there. Meanwhile, it's got long-lasting shades that are supposed to last for like 12 hours. They're buildable. It's got warm and cool tones, as you can see, and creamy, buildable shades. Looks like about, from what I was feeling with my fingers in there, at least 2 different formulas, like a nice creamy thick one, and then a slightly more powdery, layerable. Very, very pretty. We're going to compare it, but let's first take this outside into the warm California sunshine. Take a look at each row there, laid out on my arm, and I try to get some good close-ups for you to see because it's so much easier in natural lighting than here in my studio, and I think you'll agree it is quite beautiful. Okay, so a lot of people are talking about these colorful palettes that BYREDO does, and is it the same palette over and over and they're constantly getting our $115 or whatever you're paying in your country? Yes and no. I mean, if we compare it, well, we can't compare it to the last one, which was the Bibliothèque, because that was most definitely a neutral palette. So obviously, here's Vesuvio. I mean, obviously that's nothing to do with it. But let me tell you, when this Bibliothèque came out, there were a lot of complaints that it was so boring, predictable, neutral. And everybody talked about in my comment section, and I like to think that's like almost like a mini marketing survey in a way, you know. Everybody talked about missing out on the colorful, let me move my brushes here, missing out on the colorful palettes because when they sell out, they're gone. You know, for instance, we have, but it's a different color story. So this one is mostly pinks and oranges. This is the Remembrance. Remember this guy? Remembrance, remember the Remembrance? That was the cover, if that helps you. So this is Remembrance and compared. Vesuvio is definitely more colorful. This one is a lot more kind of pinks and orange. I mean, that's a definite different color story. And then I also pulled out the Mineralscapes. Now this is the one, this is this cover. When a Bibliothèque came out, Mineralscapes was the one everyone was telling me they're so sorry they missed. This is much cooler though. I mean, look at the difference. Here's our new Vesuvio. Here's Mineralscapes. This is the most colorful so far. And it really does, see, I put those paintings up there from the 18th century. It really does draw from those in a very intellectual way that BYREDO tends to do makeup that I admire. I like that intellectual side of, that artistic side of beauty, the design side. Some don't. And really that's just kind of that's your option. You know, do you want that artistic? To me, you know, I'm paying for this gorgeous palette. I'm paying for this packaging. I'm curious about what ideas went in behind it. Others of you will say, who cares? I can dupe it a million times over for much cheaper. And I think neither one of those interpretations is wrong, to be honest. So let's play around. I mean, obviously I'm not going to do like 10 eyeshadow shades. I'm a journalist, I'm an investigator, I'm a reporter, I'm not a makeup artist. I say that all the time. And when it comes to using the makeup, I know a lot about it, but I use it like you do, you know, unless you're a makeup artist to use it better. So I'm not trying to do some sort of amazing looks. I just want to test out the formula here with you guys, okay? So let's do that as I stick my finger in here. And I've got some Sonia G brushes. Let's go ahead and start here, okay? And this is one of those shades that I told you is really light and almost kind of powdery. And I'm going to put that all over the eye, and you'll see that right away. That's definitely buildable, but do you see how sheer that is? That's testing one of the formulas. I'm going to do two different looks. I got two eyes. Let me build it a little bit. Again, not trying to do a look as much as test out the formulas. Really is what I'm trying to do. A look I'll let you do. I'll let the makeup artist. We certainly have enough people and different viewpoints here on YouTube. Okay, so you can see how that builds. See how that got a little bit deeper? Let's try a creamier shade. This is a different formula. Same brush, but I'm just going to go in with it. You can also use your fingers, and actually the BYREDO website says that too. Okay, so I'm using a brush, and that will put on one application of this very creamy shade, thicker shade. But I'm going to show you with my finger too. The emolliency of the finger will put it on deeper. Again, guys, let me just stress to you, not trying to do a look so much as trying to show you the way the different formulas are going to perform on the eye and how they'll build. So this creamy or thicker with the finger is going to really put it on, the warmth of the finger. But with a brush will be a little bit more subtle. Do you know, I prefer the brush, but I prefer a very subtle eye look. Okay, very pretty. All right, let's switch eyes. And let's do something a little bit cooler, which I generally don't pull off very well, but we're going to try it anyway. Okay, so here's one of those kind of more powdery shades, and I'm going to put it on. You know I don't like blue. But again, you know, I'm really not trying to show off any sort of a skill here, except just a knowledge and a history of the way these sorts of things work. And then we've got another formula, actually, that I want to try. Okay, that's pretty and icy and almost goes gray on me, and I've built it just like I built the pink, okay? Now we have this other formula. I said 2. I really should have said 3. And this is slightly thinner, really, and sparkly. And I'll just put that over. Look how sparkly that is. And that is a different type of texture. So let me just show you here. That's a different type of texture than we had down below. So this one is kind of sparkly, and this one is more metallic. Do you see the difference there? They're both thick and creamy, but there's like sparkly creamy and metallic creamy. Check those out, yeah. Okay, and I have used both. And I used my finger for the sparkle because I really wanted those sparkles to adhere. Plus, I'm not getting any fallout. I'm looking to see if I got a little. I'm not someone who's bothered by fallout. Are you? Could you put that down below? To me, it's just like a little angel kiss on the cheeks. Now, I mean, if it's crazy amounts of fallout, certainly I know when to say when. But for the most part, if there's a teeny bit on my cheek, it's just a little angel kiss. But tell me what you think. And I have done a bluish gray look. Generally I stay away from that, but it's a cooler tone look, and I just wanted you to see. And though I've not done any complicated eye looks here, you guys, I just wanted to kind of show you how the basic formulas work. And that is, with a brush, they'll be very light, but with a finger, they'll apply much more intensely. And to me, that makes the palette all the more appealing. So why should you buy this palette? You're the customer for this palette if you admire the over-intellectualization, I admire that, of the art form of beauty, because you're paying for this beautiful interpretation, you're paying for the packaging, and you're paying for the variety of shades. Number 2, you're a collector like me, and you're adding it to your collection. Number 3, you don't mind spending your money when you're getting quality. Number 4, you love a colorful eyeshadow palette. And, you know, I did 2 kind of monochromatic looks. You don't have to do 7 colors on each eye like we would do, say, 10 years ago, right? Why should you not buy this palette? You think it's an obscene amount of money to spend on makeup. You think you'll never, ever, ever use it all. You have colorful palettes anyway that you can dupe, and frankly, you are offended by the over-intellectualization of what is, after all, kind of something you're going to put on and then wash off at the end of the night. So we really have two camps here, and I kind of think never the twain shall meet. If you ask me, I'm all for this as a collector, and for the beauty of it, and for the fact that I can do monochromatic yet colorful looks. And I love the way the shades perform. So I'm all for it, but I am a luxury shopper. So if you're in the comments going, that is ridiculous and I would never, I will not disagree with you. I mean, it's two different camps of people. And I don't know if that helped, but let me know down below if it did, because I'd like to be of help for you guys, when you're spending your money. I have seen this stuff come and go for longer than some of you have been alive. And I truly mean that. So I hope I bring some knowledge to the party. Whereas I admit I do not bring the application technique. That's not what I'm here for, okay? So let me know your thoughts on this BYREDO palette, on the others you missed. Are you still kicking yourself for missing Mineralscapes? That's what I seem to hear the most when we talk about BYREDO. And do we love their perfumes? Because I do. I just like BYREDO. I think they're gorgeous. The lipsticks are gorgeous too. Anyway, tell me your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'll come in there and interact with you because I love to do that there, okay? So let me know that, and check me out over on Instagram. I'm on TikTok and Threads, Facebook. We have a membership here on YouTube, and that we meet every Friday, and I would love to see you there as well. All that information is down below, as well as how you can purchase the products I'm talking about, or at least take a look at them. Where I can, I try to put it up here in YouTube Shopping. I don't think YouTube Shopping can access this yet, but when eventually we can at bigger department stores, I'll get it up there for you. And let me know any questions or thoughts that you might have. Hey, I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video, and make sure you're subscribed. Bye, guys.